Hi there. Do you love what you do? Do you feel like you're here really living what you came here for? I do. And what I came here for is to spread this message with as many humans as possible. My deep wish is that as many humans as possible will really realize who they are, who they truly are. And I believe that the more humans that realize who they truly are will alleviate suffering on this planet, because the behaviors will change. The ways of thinking will change. The system will update into more free thinking. We'll step out of the identification with wounding, with not feeling worthy or good enough, or whatever happened in the childhood. It may still all play through, and it will, but the space of knowing who one truly is allows for that to happen freely, to come through freely, to be met in a whole new way. And I believe that human interactions, a lot of the way, even to the extreme of that, when it turns into war, is rooted in the false identification with a separate self. That's the extreme of it, is war. We can see it in relationships, when we relate from two-ness, when we relate from my point of view, your point of view, who's right, who's wrong, and the need to be right or wrong, and to have power of the other, or fear of the other, or defend. All of those things are all rooted in the false identification with separation. And I know how much pain that causes. I know, of course I know, I'm human, right? And so that's why, I was asking myself why I do what I do today, because tomorrow I'm holding a masterclass, and that leads into it. Following that will be a weekend retreat called Break Free, Evolve and Create, which is all about that, and so I was asking myself today, like, why I do what I do, because with the way that the world is changing and the way we're all driven, everything's going so fast, and the extremes of what's changing on our world platform is kind of ramping up the volume in all ways, right? And it's easy to get on the survival train, like to start jumping into that conditioning we have to do what we do to get paid to survive, to da 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 da. Which, when I was like that high, not that high, but about 10 or 11, I would say, I was looking at all the adults going to work, coming home, Monday to Friday, weekend off, drinking, getting drunk, whatever, starting again on Monday. And I just was, as I was going through those school years, I was looking at that going, like, seeing the possibilities for myself in my job to get money to survive, to move into my way, my path, what it would be. And there was a very clear moment where I just went, I don't want to do that, don't want to do that. I don't want to have to work just to survive. I think I was probably 17, 18 in a job, in the newspapers, and I could have carried on. I could have climbed up and got a good job, whatever. But I just was like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. And I jumped out and I lived an alternative life. But that's not what, what I want to talk about now. But what I want to say is that it's easy when there's a set of circumstances that can pressure us to get on that survival train and start forgetting why we do what we do, and start doing it because we get paid, and to, we have to, now I have to promote in my work, I have to get on the marketing train and all these things which I never had to do. It just organically, the love of working with people and seeing beings break free was always just what I organically did, and I just happened to get paid for that, right? And that grew and grew. And yeah, I just been today and yesterday, as I'm kind of creating this, the promotions for, well, next week's Break Free retreat, weekend retreat, and seeing that I haven't done any promotions really. I've hardly done anything, and I was like, it's probably, like, and it really had me stop and ask myself why I do what I do. Why? And that is the most important part of this work, in what I share with you, with beings, with whoever resonates with this, who's ready for this, who can value this, is the absolute service, the absolute love of seeing another human break free. And that, I believe, creates change on this planet, because for every human who breaks free, they're going to have an effect with everybody they relate with. And that's going to change them and change them and change them, and it spreads out. And like that, human consciousness changes, and we're all here with a gift to share. We are godliness. We are gods. We are. I don't mean we are gods, right? But I mean we are made of God. We are godliness in form. We are here to express what we actually are, and to love what we do, and to bring that fully out into expression. And then we really, really, really feel like we're doing what we came here for. We're living what we came here for, right? It's not the rule, but for many of us who have to work, right? So anyway, I'm just jumping on. I don't want to go on and on and on and on, but that's my question to you: is, are you living what you came here for? I mean, really, what you feel you came here for? Because we can be in suffering, going through suffering, and say, well, this is, I came here for this. And in a way it's true, because it leads you to another place in yourself where it happened for me like that. I wasn't always, I didn't just get here to do what I'm doing here without going through a massive deconstruction and resurrection, and and that continues. But anyway, that's the question: are you living what you came here for? Are you really, really, really living have you found your life purpose? Anyway, tomorrow is a masterclass. I don't know if or when you'll be watching this, but it's the 18th of May. And the following weekend, there is a weekend retreat online called Break Free, Evolve and Create. Yeah, and I'm inviting you to join me. You'll find the link in the description. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you're still here watching this, because people got no time these days, they're off in a second. But anyway, that's I would love to meet you truly, truly in who we are, with all the love that we are. Yeah, there's so much more to say. Join me. Yeah. Ciao for now.